I used to dream about flying, about the air hitting me so hard that my lungs were perpetually full. I dreamed about the view from here, while soaring so high from that ample dose of adrenaline. But mostly, I dreamed about today. Every minute of preparation comes down to this moment. I'm not sure you can fathom how rapid time is. That 1/100th of a second that we've shed blood, sweat, and tears for. It's like, all of a sudden, time just stops. Silence echoes through this vortex of anticipation.
Ignition sequence start.
And then it starts. This is what it all comes down to. The smell of burnt rubber, the roar of the engine, and the countdown to the final race.
Hello YouTube, welcome once again to the Century Sim Racing Esports Series. It's round 8. As always, I am joined by Jim Whitehouse. Are you there, James?
Yes, I certainly am. Good evening, Lex.
Good evening, James. Tell us where we are, because this is a little bit of a home one for you, isn't it?
Yes, we are at Kyalami in Johannesburg. I grew up about half an hour from here, so never been there, actually. It's not really... In my lifetime, it's not really had anything very serious happening on it. So,
right.
Although it used to host Grand Prix and all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Awesome.
Welcome to Kyalami. Welcome to Johannesburg.
Yeah, welcome along. As always, YouTube, there we are, live and interactive. Get on the comments and all that type of stuff. Let us know what you're up to. How's your past few days been, James? Have you had a good one?
Yeah, it's been good. I'm obviously not racing in this series anymore, but I did practice with them on Thursday night. So just join in a bit of the banter and have a bit of a feel of the tracks. Yeah, it's been pretty relaxed. How about yourself?
Yeah, it's been a good one. To be honest with you, I've just been doing nothing but playing Fortnite. For some reason, I'm now addicted to Fortnite, which is not something I should really be admitting, but I am. And
well, you know what? The heart wants what the heart wants.
It does, that is true. So tell us a little bit more about this track, James. I've never raced it. Never actually, not much experience with it, to be honest with you. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's not a track that's had any real interesting action in the last, better part of 30 years, really. The last Formula One Grand Prix was here in 1992, which I believe was won by Nigel Mansell. Is that right? Or was it Alain Prost? It may have been Alain Prost. I can't remember. I wasn't there. But either way, it's had quite a major layout change since then as well. So in the last few years, it has gained FIA Grade 2 status, so it could...
come back on, yeah.
Formula One Grand Prix. In fact, next year, theoretically, next February, it is hosting a round of the World Endurance Championship, which is really exciting.
Awesome. It would be good to see this track get a bit more action than what it has been, for sure. Talk us through the championship table as it stands. We're just going into round 8, but Tony Draper still on the top there, 131 points.
Yeah, so Tony, I think Tony's done a good job of recovering from the fact that he's had a few virtual reality crashes and whatever. That his headset stopped working, etc. But he is still leading the way. I'm just stalling right now while I dig the table out.
That's absolutely fine.
Okay, I've got it.
If you got it, sound. Andy Archer's second in the championship on 91 points. He's been doing really well, quite consistent over the last few weeks.
Do you know what, Andy? I feel like in the last few rounds, Andy has absolutely unlocked something in this car and is really quick as a result. He was really quick in practice on Thursday as well. Rundown of the championship as it stands after 7 rounds. Tony Draper in the lead on 131 points. Andy Archer on 91 in second. Leon Chambers on 74 points. Tom Illingworth on 68 in fourth. James Cole is in fifth at 65. Pete Harrod is in 6th. He's returning tonight after having only done 3 rounds, yet he's accumulated a serious total of 58 points, so he's in 6th. Oliver Evans is in 7th on 50. Stuart Nunnan on 21 points. Reese Cashmore isn't racing tonight, neither is Cameron Reedy. They are on 19 and 1 respectively.
Awesome. Right, let's go down to the track. Quali has just begun, so there's going to be 2 races as always. First race, standard grid based on this qualifying session now, and then the second race will be a reverse grid based on the finishing positions of the next race, if that makes sense.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, so 8 minutes left of quali. This is it. We're rocking and rolling for round 8. If you're on the YouTube, click that notification bell and all that type of stuff. Get on the comments. Let us know what you've been up to over the past few days. How's your lockdown life treating you right now while we watch Andy Archer begin what will be his flying lap for quali.
I must say I'm excited for this. It's an amazing circuit. It's you'll notice the drivers getting away with using quite a lot of curb because it's quite a high-speed track with only one real big heavy slowing down point, which in itself is a very interesting corner because you come over a crest and hit the brakes, so you actually hit the brakes before you can see the corner because there is such an elevation change. I'll tell you what, shall I talk us through a lap at some point?
Yeah, maybe we should. What I'm going to wait for is Tony Draper he's just started his flying lap now, hasn't he?
Yeah. So shall we do his next one?
We'll do his next one, yeah, and you can talk us through a lap, because it'd be interesting, because I haven't actually been around this track yet. This is the first time I'm seeing it, so I'm quite excited about it as well. We'll do that in a few minutes.
Big question, are you having a drink tonight, Lex?
I am having a drink, nothing posh this evening. It's just a basic run-of-the-mill vodka and Coke that I have tonight. What about yourself, James?
I am going posh this evening. I've got a glass of white wine.
White wine. Awesome. After your chicken noodles or chicken pasta that you just had.
Noodles, how dare you? I said posh, Lex.
Yeah, man. Anyway, let us know what you're eating, what you're drinking, what have you had to eat this evening. By all means, we'll discuss it. It's what we do. So get on the comments there. But yeah, so still,
it looks like Tony's had his lap ruined by someone spinning in front of him.
That's a shame. I was just going to say there's a lot of them. There's quite a bit of traffic in front of each other right now. So I imagine they're all going to be spreading out and trying to make as much space as they can to try and make the most out of this.
I'm excited to have Pete Harrod back, I must say.
Yeah, so am I.
He's really quick. He's got an outright win. So shall I take us on a lap with Tony Draper? I'm on board with him now.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's go on board with Tony Draper. James, over to you.
All right then, so exiting the last corner, make sure to get good traction up because you've got quite a long straight. Keep it fairly over to the right-hand side. We've got a kink here. I don't think this counts as turn 1, and I'm not going to count it as turn 1. So we're going to bring it over to the right-hand side, hard on the brake pedal. Nice late apex. You can take quite a lot of inside curb there, run it out wide, then you're flat through this right-hand kink over here. Use all the curb on the other. Oh, he's just... Do you know what? I'm just jinxing people
every time we do this.
Yep. So we're on the curve again on the exit here. We're going to bring it over to the right-hand... we're over to the left-hand side for a really long right-hander here. Scrub off as little speed as you can possibly get away with. Tony's kind of flicked the back end out and got it straightened up. He's run a little bit wide on the exit. That'll cost him some time. Brake at the 50-meter board. Nice late apex, ride the curb on the inside, and now this next section is absolutely brilliant. So brake at the cone, flick it in, carry all the curb, and then flat out through this right-hander. Take it out nice and wide. That's as much as you dare. That was brilliant. So here's our blind crest. So we're hard on the brakes, There's the apex there. Nice late apex for the hairpin. Get on the power nice and early because it opens up quite a lot on the exit. We're going to bring it over to the right-hand side. He's got the DRS open, of course, right now, and he's going to keep it open through this left-hand kink. What I would say is the hardest corner on this track is this one. It's just really difficult to judge where to brake. Get it turned in, nice late apex. Bit of oversteer on the exit there, and then we've got a almost flat-out right-hander. DRS close for that one very much. Little dab of brakes, and then we've got to keep it as smooth as we can through the last corner. Send it out nice and wide. That's a good exit there. That brings him over the line. That is a 1:30. What was that?
Still,
my time is still going.
My time is still going as well.
Yeah, that's weird.
No idea what happened there.
1:30 something point something, you know.
Yeah, it's still showing as 1:41 to me, but there's no way that was a 1:41.
Either way, that is a lap of Kyalami.
Well, there we go. It's definitely some narrow part of this track. You certainly kind of run out of road pretty quickly in certain areas, I just noticed. So hopefully they stay out of each other's way throughout the race. Last week was absolute chaos, which was great to see. So who knows what's going to happen today, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I was just talking to James. I came up. I made a little video the other day. Just for a laugh, just to lighten people's moods and things, you know. And I don't know if anybody's heard that remix of Boris Johnson that was released by a DJ called Critical Mass. But it had no video to it, so I came up with this idea that I'm going to edit Boris Johnson together to sing that song. And I've done it, and it's going viral like absolute crazy right now. So we're going to play it in the break after this quali.
Oh, absolutely brilliant.
It's going to be some fun. It's going to be a right laugh. Let's have a look at some times here. Leon Chambers on a 1:35.1 at the mins. Just set another lap there himself as well. 3 minutes left off quali. See what Pete Harrod's doing, considering he's back, eh?
Yeah, it's good to have him back. It'll be interesting to see how, because he did the first 3 rounds and hasn't been with us for the last 5 weeks. Tony Draper's just gone second fastest with a 1:35.3. Tony didn't get to do practice on Thursday, so he's come into this event by his own admission horrendously underprepared by his own. So certainly he says he feels underprepared, but we'll see. I mean, he's not massive. He's not miles off pole. That's a good lap from Leon Chambers. That actually 35.1.
Yeah,
I think that we're going to want to be in the 34s. I believe we were in. So I can see on Tony's dash right now. He's about 4/10 up on his lap at the moment, so he's looking good. We'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, for sure. 2 minutes left of it, just over. So a couple of laps left in this for the guys to try and better themselves and get those all-important positions on the grid. Currently, Leon Chambers will be starting first if it ends right now, as Tony Draper... Oh,
he's lost it, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's lost it. A little bit of a spin there, and he's into your barrier. But lots of Century Sim livery to have a little look at there. Let's have a little look at Stuart Nunnan right now. He's looking a little bit twitchy in the pre-quali practice before we went live. But he seems to be getting himself together a little bit.
Yeah, so I think Stu does well when he just keeps it simple. Like
Yeah.
It feels to me like he's trying to overdrive this car a little bit. So there's Leon Chambers' first one into the 1:34s. That's a 34.8. That's a really excellent lap time. He's quite a long way up now, actually. And Tony lost it on his fastest lap, so I would guess that this is kind of it. Although no, he should have time for another one, but he's got traffic in front of him, so he needs to manage this carefully.
Yeah, it's a nice little chunk that Leon's took out at the times there. So he's probably
you can probably.
Yeah, he can just sort of cruise around now, sort of, you know, a little bit more relaxed than maybe he would have been a couple of laps ago as he totally loses it there. But he's probably not that bothered, to be honest. He's probably going to return to the pit lane anyway. Let's have a little look at TD right now.
Oh, he's run wide there.
Yeah, he did.
Using all of the racetrack and the rest. This is a racetrack, I think, that's got a little bit of nuance to it. It's not one that because it's got quite a lot of elevation change, and trying to pick your braking points can be slightly difficult.
Yeah, you're right, for sure.
So I'm expecting race 2 to be absolute dynamite as usual, because I think there are good opportunities for overtaking here as well, because there are a few of quite long straights with quite heavy stops.
Well, there's only 30 seconds left of this. Certainly seems that Leon has managed to get pole for the next race, hopefully.
We'll see. We'll see. I think that Tony's backing up now because he's got time for one more lap, so we'll see. I think we'll keep an eye on him.
He knows what he's doing, doesn't he, our Tony? He's a very wise man, and off he goes.
Exceptionally wily.
So he's definitely want to go and try and clinch that pole. He's going to definitely give it a go for sure. This is going to be the last lap for him.
Absolutely. Let's stick with this lap and see what we've got. I kind of wish I was talking the audience through this. No, I'm glad I'm not talking the audience through this lap because I don't want to jinx him.
I know. It seems to happen every time, doesn't it? So currently, as it stands, Leon Chambers in first, Andy Archer second, Tony Draper third, Pete Harrod fourth, Ollie Evans fifth, and Stu Nunn sixth. But this could all change as these drivers are on their final flying lap of quali. The Century Sim Racing DTM series, it's round 8, and we are in South Africa. And Tony Draper, a little bit wide there from Tony, but nothing to phase him too much.
So I can see he's about he's about 4/10 up on his previous best, which won't quite be good enough for pole, but we'll see what he's got. He's lost a little bit more time through that left-hander as well. So he's only about 2.5 up. He's certainly catching the driver in front. Needs a good exit out of here. This is a crucial. He's found loads of time through there, I tell you, and climbing. So he's now about 4.5 up. So I reckon if he can keep the rest of this lap tidy, this is going to be close.
Yeah.
He got through here. This is such a crucial corner. He's gained a bag of time there. He's now 6/10 up. He got through here. Oh, yep, catches the curb, but he's still 6/10 up. All right, just hold it together for the last corner and get yourself a good exit, my son. Oh, he's way up. That's 8/10. This is Tony Draper about to go on pole position.
Look at
brilliant.
That was going to happen, wasn't it?
What a lap. 34.5.
That was absolutely going to happen. Well done to Tony there. Bagging
bag.
that one for sure. So there we have it. We'll give you the official top 7 now. Tony Draper first, Leon Chambers second, Andy Archer third, Ollie Evans fourth, Pete Harrod fifth, Stu Nunn sixth, and Tom Illingworth will start in 7th. How long have we got before the race starts?
So I believe we've not got too long, couple of minutes maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so a minute and a half to the end of this session, and then about 30 seconds before we get on the grid.
All right, we'll stick with it for now. Then we'll do me Boris Johnson skit a little bit later on, I imagine. Reese Cashmore saying, "Have you seen the Matt Lucas Boris parody?" Yeah, this is what I've done. You see, managed to get Boris Johnson to say the Matt Lucas parody, and then it goes into a song, and it's absolutely hysterical. And yeah, we'll throw it on later for an absolute laugh. What other reason would it be, you know? But yeah, it's the Century Sim Racing Esports Series round 8, and we're getting ready to rock and roll on the grid once again. Tony Draper totally snatching first place from Leon there. Do you reckon Leon saw that coming? To be honest.
Well, I don't know. I think that you've always, like, Tony's been so strong in this series that I think if you don't see him coming, then you're a fool. You're looking in the wrong direction. Not to put too fine a point on it, of course.
No, you're quite right. Cameron Reedy saying, "G'day James, g'day Lex." G'day James.
Hello, mate.
Cameron, how you doing?
Cameron Reedy, beautiful Australian name.
It is. Absolutely is. Oh, well, this vodka and coke's going down really, really nicely tonight, my friend. Really
you know
nicely.
what? This glass of white wine has been good. I'm not usually a big fan of white wine, but I thought, like, my missus is having some, so I thought I'd join her, and oh boy, it's going down a treat.
Good. I'm glad. Looking forward to this one. It should be some fun as the drivers are now making their way to the grid to line up and all that type of stuff. Let's have a look. Yes, Tony Draper's going to be starting in first. All of a sudden, randomly, just snatched out of Leon's hands. But we'll keep eyes on it for sure. Let's head back down there then and get ready for this one. Try not to choke on my drink. Remember, I'm controlling the cameras, so please be nice and allow me to figure this out as things happen. And,
okay, so I'm going to be watching Leon Chambers. That's where my camera is pointing currently.
Yes, so is ours. We are now watching Leon Chambers. Sitting behind Tony, and is he sitting behind Andy there as well?
Tony?
Yeah, on my screen it says Andy's first. It's the.
Yeah. Oh, ignore that.
Ignore that. Tony is first.
Doesn't know what it's doing.
Right, go on then, James.
Lights are about to go out. We have 6 lights waiting for them to go out. Look but never stare, says Martin Brundle, and we are racing. Oh, that's a great launch from Tony Draper, I must say. Oh, a bit of contact already.
Oh my God!
None taking each other out. Absolute scene. So that's Andy Archer up the inside. He's got the line on Leon Chambers. That's a great start from him. Tony going defensive. Oh, there's a nudge from Andy Archer. Where does that put Tony? So he manages to gather it. It's a bit of a shove as well. Leon Chambers takes the place back, and there goes Andy Archer. He's run wide, manages to hold it together. Boy, but he's lost some places though. Leon has a big wiggle there, and he's in the gravel. So everyone shoots by. There goes Andy Archer. They're straight back at it. Look at that. Now Tony Draper has already got an excellent lead out front. Pete Harrod keeping Oliver Evans honest in front of him. He can smell blood, so he fancies himself a nice little return to this championship. Right, so I'm going with Pete Harrod in the pink livery. There he is. So he's only about 6/10 down on Oliver Evans. Tony Draper already pulling out more than a second advantage in front.
Absolute scenes already.
Boy, this has been tasty already, hasn't it?
It really has. We've got Leon Chambers at the back there. He's taking on Tom Illingworth. He's doing it for 6th place. He's done it.
That's a nice move, actually.
Nicely done. Nicely done, Leon.
Yeah, I reckon that hairpin is going to be a good opportunity for overtaking, because when you're defending and you hit the brakes, firstly, you're not sure where the outside of the track is, you're not sure where the apex is, and you're now watching another guy. So it's a big lockup from Leon, though. I'm looking to see if Tom can get a better exit there and maybe get back on him. No.
Still plenty of time for him to do it, though.
Yeah, Oliver Evans keeping Tony pretty honest in second. So the top 3 now are spreading out a little bit. Andy Archer has absolutely brilliant recovery from that contact he had at the start with both Leon and Tony. He's running in 4th place. Boy, that could have gone so much worse for him at the start.
It really could. I do feel sorry for Stu Nunnan, though. He just got ploughed into the wall. I don't know who it was, but who was it that hit it? I can't remember.
I think it was Tom. Just spun his wheels up his rears up at the start and sort of harpooned into the side of him. What
a shame. He just has bad luck all the time. Let's have a look at him down there. He's quite far back, to be fair. He can catch it. He can catch the pack. I'm sure he can. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So the good battle right now looks like it's between Leon and Andy. The gap between them is pretty small. I think Leon's just going to keep it tidy. He didn't have the best start ever, so I think it's just head down and rebuild from here. And he certainly looks like he's keeping Andy pretty honest. Top 3 separated by a 1.5 seconds. Top 4 1.5 seconds between each of them. So they're spreading out a little bit. Leon is right on the back of Andy now. He'll get a good toe heading down towards that right-hander. Nice thing about this corner coming up as an overtaking spot is it's so wide on the entry. You can kind of sort of pick any spot you like, and he does have a little look, but decides to get out of it. That's a good thing to do sometimes, though. You don't have to actually go for the move, but look like you were thinking about it, and it keeps the guy in front of you looking in his mirrors, and that is what you want when you're attacking.
Yeah, true. So the positions as they stand at the minute after that chaos. Tony Draper still leading ahead quite comfortably and first, followed by Ollie Evans. Pete Harrod follows him. Nice to see Pete back. Andy Archer fourth.
Sorry to interrupt you, Lex. We've got some serious action going between.
We're watching it.
Oh, that's such a big squeeze. He's had to get out of that, so he tries going around the outside. That was pretty rude, actually, if I'm honest, from Andy Archer. This is good though. Leon Chambers keeping him honest. I think Andy didn't get the best run through the final corner, and it put Leon right in the hunt. Leon can smell blood here. I think he's coming for a good time.
Yeah, he wants that place back for sure. Leon currently in 6th, so this fight is for 4th right now as we watch Leon Chambers. He's going to go for this attack on that Braun livery car, and it's going to happen imminently, I'm sure. 10 minutes left of race 1 after this. We do have a second race. The grid's positions are determined by the positions finished in this race. So it's always reversed. So it always adds some absolute sparks to things, does that? It's a great format.
It really does. So at the moment, Stuart Nunnan is on reverse grid pole. Tom Illingworth second, Leon Chambers third. This battle between Andy Archer and Leon Chambers has been... I think if it ended right now, the reverse grid would be interesting because Leon's pace is clearly very strong.
Yeah, it is.
I'm just watching him on still attacking the back of Andy Archer, but the likes of Tony and Oliver Evans and Pete Harrod having to get through this lot is going to be pretty spicy, I'd say. I agree. We know that Leon can win races. He's done it before. He's going to get a good run on Andy.
He's going to get a good toe there. Let's see what he can do from that position. Has he got it? He's falling. Yeah.
Fastest lap of the race, Tony Draper, 34.6. That's good going. He's now 3 seconds up in the lead. Doesn't look like Leon's going to have a look up at Andy now.
A little bit far back there. But, you know,
he's time left. Just got to keep his head down.
Absolutely.
Pete Harrods is having a good run and is naturally very quick. He does, on iRacing, he actually races in the World GT Championship. So he's certainly by me very highly regarded.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever that's worth.
We're watching Ollie Evans at the minute with his nice livery there. And I'm loving that one. It's one of my faves this weekend. As I was just getting used to, because we were saying that the drivers are updating the liveries quite a bit, which is nice to see. To be fair, it's nice to see creativity. But I was getting used to them because they were certain colours, and I updated it, and they all went different colours. But never mind. I'm getting used to it anyway. We're still watching Leon Chambers trying to attack Andy Archer, sniffing him out a little bit, sizing him up for an opportunity for 4th place there with 8 minutes left, just over 8 minutes left. So plenty of time for him to get it done.
Do you know what? I tell you what, Andy Archer really is so difficult to overtake because he just doesn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah, he knows where to put that car right.
Yeah, even if his pace isn't always 100% the fastest, he's just so smooth and so clean that getting past him is a nightmare. Because what Leon is waiting for right now is a mistake.
Yeah, of course.
And
he is.
you know, a mistake isn't coming. Touch wood. That's classic commentator's curse, Jim. What are you doing?
This happens every time we say this. Andy Archer's going to explode now into flames or something just because you've said that.
Fantastic. So Tony Draper about 3.5 seconds out front. This has been pretty clinical from him, hasn't it? Sort of
standard Tony, isn't it? Really.
The show goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is one of them. I'm sure he's enjoying his little Saturday night drive out there. Ollie Evans is now getting a little... Sorry, James. Getting a little bit of pressure off Pete Harrod for 2nd place. He's now starting to look in his mirrors, is Ollie.
Yeah, so Tony didn't get to win a race at Monza in the last round. He did win the overall thing because he came 2nd twice, and once we averaged it out, he did get the overall win, so he scored 25 points nonetheless. Doesn't even have to win races to win events. That is how good he is.
It's true, that. I'm guessing you're a fan.
Yeah, I'm something of a fan. Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Leon having a little sniff there at Andy. Didn't quite make it happen though. But at least he's making Andy know he's very much there, making him having to defend and make those little errors that he's hoping he's going to force him into.
Yeah. I'm excited by this battle between Pete Harrod and Ollie Evans. I must say, I think Pete didn't get to do the practice, so he said he was telling me before this that he only did about 10 minutes of practice before the event started, and the next time he drove it was, you know, in practice this evening before the start of quali. So
yeah,
new fastest lap of the race, 1:34.2 from Tony Draper. He's just sending it back, isn't he?
He really is. He really is.
Yeah,
it's just magical sometimes.
I think it'll be interesting to see, like, Pete's clearly lap on lap getting more and more comfortable, understanding the car and track more and more. Got to remember as well that all these other guys have been racing for now 8 weeks solid, and Pete hasn't.
Yeah, that's a point, that. But he's still got a decent amount of points bagged already, though. Pete has, so he could benefit from it.
He won in Canada, didn't he? So
yeah.
And I think he's had all 3 rounds he's done. He's scored overall. He scored an overall podium at every round. So let me have a look at Leon Chambers. Interesting action at the back. Stuart Nunnan has managed to catch up with Tom Illingworth. This should be fairly tasty. They're just going into the hairpin now. Are they at the hairpin? What's that? Oh, Tom Illingworth runs a little bit wide. That's going to put Stu right on his tail. This is interesting. So Stu, is he going to take a little look? He's right in the curb on the inside, but Tom goes defensive. That's well held from him.
Stu does tend to keep it fair though as well. That's, he's given plenty of space there to be able to do it.
Yeah, good racecraft. So Tom goes defensive again. Stu is going to have to line him up so that he gets a better exit out of the hairpin. Very interesting exit that, because it's not straight. You are still turning quite a lot on the exit. So Stu's right on his tail now. Get a good slipstream. We'll see if Tom goes defensive again. So here they come, go through the left-hand king. Stu, is he going to slide it up the inside? No, not quite. This is good racing from the two of these. I must say, another fastest lap of the race. In the meantime, Tony Draper with a 1:34.0. That's absolutely lightning fast. 34.7 behind him, another 34.7 for Pete as well.
Yeah, it's important to remember not to take our eyes off Pete Harrod and Ollie Evans. They're having a battle for second place.
Absolutely, but Stu Nunnan it looks like he gets a slightly better exit than Tom Illingworth coming out of the last corner. He's getting a drag down to turn 1. Right, what has he got in his arsenal here? Is he going to go for a dive? Looks like he might be. Stuart Nunnan down the inside. Does he make it stick? Tom Illingworth hangs around the outside. That's well done. Well done.
Very well done.
Superb racing. Doesn't matter if it's for last place or not. That is absolutely brilliant racing from these two.
4 minutes left of this. Sorry, James.
Sorry, I've just gone on board. Pete Harrods passed Oliver Evans. Ollie Evans, he ran a little bit wide at the exit of turn 3, and Pete shoots by. So he is up into P2, 6 seconds off the lead. Oh, Ollie Evans will be gutted about that. It's been some great racing so far, but one little slip can cause you a lot of heartache in racing. That's a fact.
It's very true. Leon's still all over back of Andy as well, so this is definitely something to be watching with 4 minutes left. Andy taking a little bit of a tumble into the mud there hasn't affected him too much.
Yeah, so Tom's still defending staunchly against Stu Nunnan. Yep. Stu looking like he might be fancying a little look up the inside into turn, I believe that's turn 9. No, he goes defensive, does Tom. So Stu takes the high line, looking for a good exit. He's got a good exit as well. He's up the inside now. It's a fast left-hand kink, and Stu makes it stick. That's a great move. Well done, Stu. Brilliant. So that's Stuart Nunnan up to P6.
Nicely done, Stu.
Fantastic racing. So it looked like Ollie Evans has had a moment as well, because all of a sudden Stu is only about 2.5 seconds behind him. Yeah, that was a 1:53.5 for Ollie Evans, so I missed it. I don't know if you saw it.
No, I didn't see it. But it's interesting that, Ollie Evans is now starting to be caught by Stu quite quickly as well, with 3 minutes left. So still plenty of time for Stu to make something of this, if he wants to, though, because he's going to have it very much in his mind that he's now going to start in second in the next race. So
yeah, that's right.
It depends if he wants to go for it. Tom Illingworth, though, don't know if you've noticed, has a picture, I imagine, of is that him and his partner on his dashboard.
I haven't noticed. Hang on, let me
beautiful.
have a look.
It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. What a nice touch that is.
I can't see his dash.
Well,
right, let me move that. Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that adorable?
I love the frame. That's so nice. Absolutely brilliant.
Love that. Nice to see that. I haven't got a photo with Tony Draper, but I'm gonna Photoshop one together, and I'm gonna put that on his dashboard just there, where it's got that Mercedes logo.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm watching Leon Chambers still hunting down Andy Archer. Andy's just run a little bit wide, so that might put Leon on the back of him. We're heading down towards the last corner now. Is he going to take it? He's taking a look.
Oh.
Yeah, so it locks up just a little bit, but Andy hangs on around the outside. That was brilliant. Leon's still right at the back of him, so let's see what he's got. Only 2 minutes left of this race. Probably time enough for this lap and one more, so he kind of needs to get this move done now. So he's having a little look up the inside. He goes for a dive.
He's going for it as well.
He's made it stick. Absolutely brilliant. But he runs a little bit wide, does he?
He does a little bit. That's going to give Andy a good trajectory off that. He's right up the back of him still.
He really is. This is brilliant racing. So he's gone but not forgotten. He's coming and having another little look. Brilliant racing, mate. Absolutely fantastic. So it's Andy who'll have the slipstream now. That was a hell of a move, actually, I must say.
It really was.
It's been a long time coming as well.
It's up to Leon now to try and close the door on that one and, mark that off as no threat anymore, which I'm sure he can do. Right. That's what Leon likes to do. Stu Nunnan still sitting there in 6th. He's got Ollie Evans in his eye line now, but he's running out of time to try and get it done, but he's not going to be bothered, though, because he's going to start in 2nd in the next race. So forward thinking from Stu probably there.
I must say, there's been some really good, nice, clean racing in this race. A little bit of shenanigans at the start, but very often that ends up being what it's like at the start of a motor race. But big lock up there from Leon Chambers. I wonder how the tires how the tires are feeling. Of course, these tires don't go off quite as quickly as the F2 tires.
Yeah.
But, Andy Archer using all of the road there on the exit. So
this is going to be
one for Pete Harrod.
Yeah, the start of the final lap for these drivers now.
There we go, 34.9 for Leon Chambers, 36.4 from Andy Archer, yeah. Of course, he got overtaken on that lap, didn't he? So this has been a really strong drive from Leon, I must say. I think that he'll be kicking himself for not having such a good start, but he's back up to 3rd, and you know what? Pete Harrod up in second. This is what he does. He keeps his nose clean. He has quiet, unassuming races, and he bags the points.
That's exactly
nice to
what
have
he's
him
going
back.
to do. Yeah, it is, certainly. Sitting there in second place at the minute. Tony Draper ahead by 9 seconds or so. So it's going to be a comfortable one for Tony from the looks of things, if we don't jinx him. And
Yep, touch wood.
all that type of stuff, you know. So, drivers are now on the final lap of race 1. Round 8 of the DTM series for Century Sim Racing.
All right, I'm watching Tony Draper now. I don't know about you.
Yes, we are watching Tony Draper as he's starting to consider finishing this lap for a win.
Yep. Winds his way through the last sector, coming up to the last corner now. One more left-handed to negotiate. Tony Draper coming through the last corner and has a bit of a slide, actually. Puts his foot down, crosses the line, and wins race 1 of the Century Sim Racing DTM series. This is round 8. We are at Kyalami. Bit of a flash of the lights from Tony Draper. That was an absolutely commanding drive, wasn't it? And fastest lap of the race at 1:33.5. Absolutely unbelievable.
Awesome. Pete Harrod coming home in second place there as well. We're on board with, watching Leon come home to take the 3rd place position, followed by Andy Archer as well. Nice battle from them. Nice to see some nice racing as well.
Yeah, hard fought, that's for sure.
Ollie Evans bringing it home in 6th. And as always, we'll go on board with Stu Nunnan to see some fireworks.
Yeah, this is his time to shine, really, isn't it?
Oh, wow. He's just brought it straight into the pit lane.
Ah.
Well, that was boring, Stu. What are you trying to,
There. No, I've got him here as a DNF now. I wonder if there was a connection issue or something there for him.
No, oh my god, yeah, it came as DNF.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. We need to find out what went on there.
Yeah.
We need to give him that place because he was literally first.
Yeah, fortunately, it is within our power to just give him the points, so we will.
That's a shame, innit? I was going to see some action then. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Chaos as always. The official positions, James, if you've got them there.
Yes.
Taking into account Stu Nunnan.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first place, Tony Draper with an absolutely commanding lead. Pete Harrod, nice to have him back. He's in P2. Leon Chambers, bit of a shaky start, but managed to fight his way back up to P3. That was a really good drive from him. Andy Archer, P4. His pace was also really strong. Ollie Evans was running second for ages, but sadly we missed it, and he finished P5 in the end. Stuart Nunnan, who's for some reason no longer with us, P6. And Tom Illingworth bringing up the rear in P7.
That's right. Right then, let's go to a quick break. This is your chance to watch the video that I put together of Matt Lucas and that remix of Boris Johnson. Sit back, have a laugh, have some fun, and we'll be with you in a couple of minutes.
So we are saying, don't go to work, go to work. Don't take public transport, go to work, don't go to work. Stay indoors. If you can work from home, go to work. Don't go to work.
Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert.
Okay, very quickly, we're live again. I'm not sure if that actually worked. So we'll do it at the end instead. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, it's a good laugh, for sure. So, have we found out what's happened with Stu yet?
He's back in the lobby now, so no idea.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Drivers getting ready for race 2. Obviously, the reverse grid is in play, meaning that Stu Nunnan, is he going to be first or second? Have we decided?
I imagine he'll be last now, because he didn't technically finish the race as far as the server is concerned. So you might find that he doesn't, like, because he's qualified as a DNF.
It's
so
going to put him first.
It could very well put him at the back, which is a damn shame.
It is, but I was going to say, you sure he won't start? Oh no, yeah, I know what you mean now.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
We had this problem in Canada, didn't we? Because the sim ended the race before everyone crossed the line, and the people that hadn't crossed the line yet were thrown to the back of the grid for race 2.
I feel like Leon is flourishing now that his nemesis Jim is off the track, says YouTube.
I hate that there's this thing that I'm somehow his nemesis out there, because it's clearly not how it is. We had some contact in one race, like.
Yeah, it was one race. But this was what happens, though, Jim. You know, you create these things. Hello to Mick, as well as joined us, and Kyle Peters as well says sorry he's late. Cameron says nice edit. Nice. Yeah, I'll try and get it sorted, Cameron, so you can watch it at the end. But I'm not sure if you had audio or anything, but I didn't, and it was halfway through the video for some reason. But that's not important.
So, just to pre-warn you, we are on the grid, and Stu Nunnan is indeed last on the grid, which is a shame. So Tom Illingworth lines up on pole position, Oliver Evans P2. We've then got Andy Archer P3. That looks like Leon Chambers P4, Harrod P5, Draper 6th, and Nunnan 7th.
That's an absolute shame, that. He's going to be proper kicking himself about that.
We'll have to find out what happened there.
Right then, race 2, reverse grid. Jim, give it your all, give it your best, David Croft, as we get ready for race 2.
So my camera is currently trained on Oliver Evans. I'm going to be watching the P2 man, see what kind of launch he can get. So lights are on. We're about to go out to go racing for race 2 and go. So the strong start from Tony Draper. Got a good launch. Great start from Pete Harrod as well. I tell you what, like he got some jam off the line. That looks like Oliver Evans up into P2. He was P2 already. So Leon Chambers dancing into the lead. Through he goes. Tom Illingworth keeping him honest around the outside. Bit of a nudge from Andy Archer, but Leon Chambers takes the lead. Ooh, that's exciting. Tom Illingworth, P2. Andy Archer has a look up the inside. Does he make it stick? Looks like it to me. He's now up to P2 as well. Stuart Nunnan up to P3. Absolute brilliant scenes. Pete Harrod, P4. Oliver Evans, P5. Tony Draper, P6, as far as I can see it.
Yeah, he is. He's down the back there. Stu Nunnan getting his elbows out with Tony Draper. As he has.
Tony having a look up the inside of Oliver Evans. Can he make this one stick? No, not. Yep, Ollie Evans runs a little wide. Tony's got the line for the next corner. Tom Illingworth having a look at the inside of Ollie Evans as well. No, he manages to hang on to that position there. So Stu Nunnan up to P3. He's already been looked at pretty hard by Pete Harrod, who's going to want some more points here. I think he's going to imagine that he could possibly win this because his pace was pretty good in the first race, and Tony is currently behind him. He's alongside Stuart Nunnan now.
Yeah, he is.
But I believe Stu is going to have the line for the next corner, but Pete could possibly have a look at him around the outside. He needs to get this done now. He wants to put as many cars between him and Tony as he possibly can. So there's Pete, tucks back. He's still not got a great line for the last corner, but he is alongside. Oh no, wait, sorry, I was further ahead down the track, and Pete Harrod makes that move stick. So there he's going to be tearing after Andy Archer. God, I tell you what, there's been some action on lap 1 so far. This has been brilliant.
It really has. We're watching Tony Draper now in 6th place. He's starting to eye up Stu Nunnan for 4th. Stu's got his elbows out with him at the start of the race.
Stu needs to go defensive here. Tony jigs to the inside, goes to the inside, makes the move stick. Stu's running around the outside, but Tony makes it work. That was fair. That was hard racing.
It was fair.
Just enough room on the outside, and he still managed to run a little bit wide, but that was some great racing from Tony Draper.
It was indeed.
So he's only 8/10 off the back of Pete Harrod now. This top 4 all really close together. This has been really good so far.
I know, yeah.
Race 2 always delivers, doesn't it?
It really does. It's that reverse grid. That's what does it. And we're only 3 minutes into the race as well, which is chaos. Absolute scenes. I love it.
Yep.
I'm going to get a shirt with absolute scenes written on it for the series. Oh, Stu Nunnan's binned it into the wall. Oh no, what a shame. He has, he's got it back on track again, but it has put him down into 6th, possibly 7th. No, he's going to probably keep 6th quite nicely. Oh, what a shame. It's just the pressure. The pressure seems to get to him quite a lot.
Yeah. So I'm on board with Pete Harrod right now. I'm watching this battle for the top 4. So the top 4 are all pretty close together. Leon Chambers, race winner in this series. He knows how to do this. All 4 of these actually have won race. Big lockups there from Leon Chambers and Andy Archer. Pete Harrod still looking pretty interested, keeping it pretty tidy. Tony Draper about a second off the back of him.
It's clear how hard they're pushing if all 3 of them were locking up into that corner there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody wants to give up the ghost on this one.
There's a bit of a wiggle there from Andy Archer. That's going to give Pete Harrod a bit of a look.
This is interesting.
Pete right on the back of Andy now. Is he going to go? Is he going to have a little look up the inside?
It seems a little bit far back to me. Yeah, he's not going to do it this time. But
thinks about it.
He's
had a bit of a wiggle there. Manages to hang on to it though. He's got
nicely done.
Defend the inside from Tony now.
That's a shame.
That was a big moment that from Pete Harrod. He's going to be kicking himself for that.
He really is. I wanted Tony to fight for that a little bit, but these things happen. Pete is definitely going to keep on the back of him though.
Yep. Still plenty for Tony to fight for though. Don't forget Tony and Pete finishing 1 and 2 in the last race. So we know that the pace is there. Andy's still keeping Leon pretty honest as well. Leon is going to be sweating buckets out front there, I tell you what.
He is. And you know what? I wish him all the best. I really do. If he can keep it together, this could be his. Stu's not having the best of races today. After a great performance, a great start as well. I wish we could do replays. Would have been great to see.
Smashed his way up to third. Absolutely brilliant. So Pete looking pretty interested on Tony here. The gap is less than half a second now. Pete looking very racy coming out of the last corner. Will he be having a look up the inside here? No, he doesn't. Still right on top of Tony though. Tony's got past him, but he's not getting away as of yet. Still half a second between them. This is what we like. We've needed someone to keep Tony honest. We've had Leon last week. We've had Andy last week. Now we've got Pete. Tony had a bit of a wiggle coming out of the last corner there. Is that gonna put Pete right on his tail? The gap now less than 3/10.
It certainly seems that way.
Yeah,
Starting to sniff him out a little bit.
Defensive. So Pete darts to the outside. Can he hang it around the outside of turn 1? No, he cuts back. Tony goes. Oh, there's a bit of a wiggle again.
In the same place as well.
Tony's gotten away with that one.
Pete seems to be struggling with those rears in the same place every lap so far, but it's only going to make him, more aware of what he can and can't do. So let's keep close eyes on it as we go into the under 10-minute mark of race 2. It's the Century Sub Racing Split.
Leon right now leading this race is going to be looking at that 9.5 minutes to go, going, come on!
That's going to be the longest 9.5 minutes ever. Longest ever for Leon there, but he's just going to keep his head down, keep it nice and clean.
I must say, just looking at the body language of all the cars and all of the drivers, Leon's had a big moment there through the hairpin. That's going to put Andy Archer right on his tail. Here he comes now. So the gap is getting smaller as they head down the straight. Andy, of course, does have a slipstream, and I think Leon's just far enough ahead. Yeah. So as I was saying, Andy going for a lunge. He hits Leon from the back.
No way!
And he's turned around. Unbelievable. Oh man. Tell you what, if there were stewards, he'd be getting a penalty for that.
That is penalty worthy, even in my eyes.
It's definitely penalty worthy. Unbelievable that.
That is a shame.
Had a look from a way back. I think his
sure he didn't
eyes
mean
were bigger
it.
than his stomach there.
He definitely didn't mean to do that, but he's definitely got his elbows out, and
oh, that's such a shame for Leon.
It'd be interesting to see what he says about that. I'm sure Leon is going to be absolutely gutted.
Yeah, I bet the group chat, because of course I don't know. For those of you that don't realize, back at home, all of the drivers are currently in a big group chat, all talking to each other on the voice chat. So, oh man, to be a fly on the wall in that voice chat right now.
Do you know what? We've got to get
him out the way from the lead.
We need to bring that voice chat into this somehow. I need to just tune in and listen and see what's getting said. Probably best we don't though at this stage.
Yeah, I think perhaps not. We're producing a family show here.
Yeah.
And,
it's very true.
No family men in the voice chat, that's for sure.
Well, Tony Draper's now starting to sniff Andy out and knocking on his door quite loudly. Andy's got him well in the mirrors there.
Yes, he does. It's such a shame that, because Tony was still in the process of having to work exceptionally hard for this win. But thanks to Andy, so Tony's got great run through
look
the
at that! Look at that!
That was absolutely brilliant on the exit. Tony Draper doesn't need the long straight; he just dances his way through the hairpin. That was absolutely brilliant. He's going to have to go defensive here, though. There you go. So Pete Harrod now looking really interested on Andy as well.
Come on, Pete.
Oh man! So here comes Pete Harrod. Does he sneak it up the inside? He's having a little look. Oh, there's a touch there as well.
A little bit of a touch.
They did well to get away with that, didn't they? My hands are on my head now.
I nearly said karma for a second.
Oh, why did you say karma? Unbelievable. Oh, man.
Oh, do you know what? It's bittersweet, isn't it?
So Andy's gone back across the track and he's taken
I'm only joking, Andy.
Oliver Evans out with him. That was horrendous.
Absolute
lifetime ban for that man.
What?
That does promote Leon Chambers back up to P3, though.
It does. It's, as Stuart Nunnan now takes Andy Archer as well. I'd love to hear this group chat, you know.
Oh, man.
I really would.
Absolute scenes, Lex.
Chaos.
So, everybody in the back. Tony Draper is currently leading this race. Pete Harrod is P2. He's about 1.4 seconds down. Leon Chambers back up to third place. He's about 5 seconds off the back of Pete. Stu Nunnan P4, Andy Archer P5 after causing, I'm going to say, some incidents. Leon Chambers P6 and Oliver Evans, through no fault of his own, way down in P7.
I don't know what to say.
Do you know what? Like, That's racing, man.
It is racing.
Happen, I suppose.
It is indeed.
But plenty of racing still to come. Pete Harrod, like Tony, is not legging it off with this one. Pete looking more and more comfortable as the laps go by. I'm very hopeful that Pete will be able to get a little bit more practice in for the next round, so that he arrives at the circuit.
Oh, he's done a little spin there as well. Well, he's not a spin, but a little bit of a tinkle coming out of the corner. He's still on track. A little bit of a tinkle. A little bit of a tinkle. He's got some dirt on his tyres for sure. He's going to be trying to get that off as he goes onto the pit straight. 5 minutes left of race 2, the DTM series for Century Sim Esports.
Yeah. I would say that Tony is now in management mode. Just manage the gap, no histrionics. Looks like was that a new fastest lap? 134.4 for Tony?
Probably.
Whoa, I tell you what, I'm a little bit out of breath. The first 10 minutes of this race have been absolutely unbelievable.
So if you've just joined us, Andy Archer causing absolute chaos. At the same time, though, he's just trying to push. He's just trying to better himself and has made a couple of errors in the process. So he's now down into 5th. Stu Nunnan ahead of him, and 4th then Leon, Pete and Tony. Tony obviously now just going for his second race win. That's what he can see. It's in his sights. But he can also see Pete Harrod in the pink right behind him. So he's going to be very much aware that he's there. And Pete is going to keep that pressure on.
So where are we at? 4 and a bit minutes to go. Tell you what, Pete is not letting him get away here. He's still 1.4 seconds down. I think that he's actually caught him a little bit on this lap. This has been a really good drive so far.
Although Revan seems to be struggling with this one this week.
Yeah, I imagine that his tires must have seen better days after being taken out by Andy.
True that.
33.9 for Pete Harrod, fastest lap of the race. That was really, really nice. 33.9.
This is definitely going to spice up to be something interesting, isn't it, in the final stages of this? Let's keep eyes on it for sure. Pete Harrod and Tony Draper. First place battle is probably going to start coming to fruition very soon as he's getting the fastest lap.
Yeah, absolutely. I must say, Pete, like I've said a few times, keeping Tony exceptionally honest there. Yeah, really good going to get the fastest lap of the race. And like I said, with no practice, I mean, before he got into quality, he'd only done 10 minutes worth of practice for this race. So imagine where we could be if he'd done an hour of practice on Thursday night as well.
Scenes.
Absolute scenes.
Absolute scenes. That's going to be the hashtag for Century Sim Racing for the rest of time, guarantee.
Yep, absolutely. So, Lex, just to make you aware, right now I'm currently putting together a little screen that we can show up at the end that show the final standings from this race.
I love it when you do that, you know.
I know, right?
Makes us look dead pro. Which is what it's all about, because we are pro, as Stu Nunnan's now looking at Andy Archer again. So Andy's got past him somewhere there. I just had major lag then. If you've just been watching that and seen the drivers go up into space, that didn't actually happen.
Space drivers. All right, so just over 2 minutes left on the clock. Tony and Pete both doing a 133.8, so that is Pete only just edging it for the fastest lap of the race. This is not over by a long shot. Tony definitely has to keep it clean here. Well, I think Pete's had a little bit of a moment through the first corner there, and that's let Tony go by a couple of tenths. This is brilliant, though. This is what we want. We want two drivers at the front that are like for like. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely is. And, you know, something that isn't, you know, is going to pressure Tony a little bit so we can see more of the talent that he does have rather than just taking it home. As much as he's going to enjoy that with his voice of velvet. You know, we do want to see some action, which we've had in bucket loads tonight. Get on the comments, let us know your thoughts, who your driver of the day is and all that type of stuff. Anybody you want to speak to, we'll get him on. We'll have a chat. I'm sure they'll have a lot to say, especially Leon.
Tell you what, the top four in this race is exactly the same as the top four in the last race.
Isn't that weird, eh?
Yeah, sometimes it just shakes out, isn't it? I think that's where the performance is. Tell you what, the gap at the lead now, it's now less than a second. Big lockup from Tony there. So Pete's had a much kinder run through that corner there, and he's only 7/10 down now. There might be a sting in the tail here. Tony's got to keep it clean. He's definitely going to be able to see Pete in his rearview mirrors now.
We need to keep close eyes on this one. Look at this. Yeah, this is going to be the last lap.
Bit of a wiggle there from Tony as well. So the gap now only 6.5 tenths. Pete taking half a second out of Tony on that lap. Tony's got to keep it together here. Got to keep it together, because otherwise, if you can't do that, Pete's going to have him.
This is definitely going to be one to watch towards the end a little bit again. See, Pete does seem to struggle.
First corner there.
He struggles in that corner, but it's done now. It's over. He's not going to have to do it again. He can concentrate now on bringing Tony Draper to his knees a little bit.
Yeah, but I just worry that he's let him go just a little bit there, because the gap is about half a second. And
yeah,
it's
potentially.
Now 1.2.
Potentially has, but you can't write Pete off.
No, you can't. No, you can't. This has been a brilliant showing from him, I must say. We are so glad to have him back. Oh, boy, he's cocked a wheel. Big time there.
We did see
Only
that.
run wide on the exit. Oh, wow.
Surprised he isn't upside down after that.
Yeah, I know. He's done well to keep that pointing in a straight line, I tell you what.
Insane. We just saw that as we were watching out the back of Tony Draper's car.
Oh, who's P5 currently? Stu Nunn is P5.
Student's P5.
And P6 is Tom Illingworth. And Evans is P7.
And he's just done it again. He's flinging it around the corners. Flinging
Here
it.
comes Tony Draper around the last corner, crosses the line to win race 2. That is a full house for him. P2, Pete Harrods. Another excellent drive from him. Again, so grateful to have him back. Tony does the fastest lap of the race on the last lap with a 1:33.8. Absolutely brilliant racing between these two.
Great to see that. Really enjoyed that. What a good session that was, guys. Get in the comments. Let us know your thoughts. If you want to say something to these guys, we'll get them in. Have a little quick chat before we leave you to your evening. But, yeah, absolute scenes. All kinds going on. Pete Harrod second. Leon Chambers bringing it home in third. Andy Archer is going to get fourth, but probably should be a lot further down. Oh, look at that. Awesome. Awesome. Scenes. There's chaos going on the track. Chaos. Stu getting his own back from the looks of it. Well, yeah, I mean, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
And what's the next track?
No, I mean, in generally. I mean, what, who are we talking to? There's a lot that needs to be said.
Right. I think we'll have Tony. I think that's probably a smart thing to do, because he's won both races. I'm just trying to think, who haven't we had on commentary before?
I think we've had everyone at some point.
Yeah, I think we have. It would be nice to have Pete, but he's not in the voice chat.
Well, we need to fix that.
We do. Yes, we do. Right, let me just get Tony in the meantime. Right. So I'm just putting together this standing screen that you can throw up.
Excellent. Awesome. If you've got anything on the comments that you want to say, like I've been saying, just let me know and we'll get that question. Driver of the day comments already. Leon or Tony or Pete. So, I mean, Cameron, you may as well read off the whole grid. It's either Tony, Leon, Pete, Andy, Stu, or Tony.
Yeah. Speaking of Tony Draper joins us. How was that, champ?
Voice of Velvet.
Hi, guys. Yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed that. I tell you what, I nearly didn't qualify. I was so close to not qualifying or being P6.
Do you know what? On that, we actually, I could see you coming for your last lap. So we went on board with you for your last lap, and we sort of talked our way through it. It was properly exciting. So yeah, great lap. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, then it went a lot quicker in the race, but I think it was just never got a banker in and struggled because Tom span in front of me on my first lap. So that was that one gone.
Yeah.
So it was pretty touch and go there for a minute.
Yeah, but no, well done though. Two really well put together drives, I must say. The pace at the end with Pete was really good. You were trading fastest laps of the race. He was definitely keeping you honest.
He absolutely was, and I think he had a couple of little slips on the throttle. If he hadn't, I'm not sure I'd have got it. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, he was
Well, that
quick.
Yeah, there were a bunch of moments throughout race 2 where it was always the exit of turn 1, just getting a little bit sideways on the exit. And I think
Yeah.
coming into the last lap, you were only half a second up.
Yeah, and then I heard him he did a 1:33.9. Mine was like a 1:34.6 or something daft. So I was like, I'm gonna have to really dig down here and get something, but managed to keep it. Yeah, managed to do that. Yeah,
Right,
it was great.
so what we would like to know is when Pete and when Leon and Andy came together, we'd just talk us through what was going on in the voice chat at that point.
Well, that was you're talking about race 2,
Yes.
right? At the bottom of the hill. So in race 1, they'd also had a ding dong, and I think Andy felt that he'd been slightly hard done to in race 1, perhaps. And so, although Andy absolutely did not mean to do it, Leon went very defensive. Andy locked up. Wasn't his fault necessarily.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it was, but he very much sort of said, "Well, sorry, but that is 1 for 1."
Sure, okay, fair enough. That's fighting talk. That's what we like to hear. Excellent.
Yeah, there were always apologies all the way around if anybody hits anybody else, and it's never intentional. But yeah, there was a sort of a little bit of a 1 for you, 1 for me.
Sure. Cool. Well, yeah. Thank you for joining us, champ. I massively appreciate it. Great drive tonight. I'm prepared as well, so I have the final. You'll be amazed to learn that you've won this thing outright. But Lex, just so you know, I've got coming to you right now will be the final standings.
Excellent. I love it when we can put beautiful things like this up on the screen.
Right. So screens, final standings. Right. So it is on the way to you right now.
Beautiful. There it is. Okay. Fill some time for a sec.
Right then. So I'm just gonna. Actually, do you know what? I will talk the nice people at home through the final standings. So Tony Draper P1, he won both races. P2 was Pete Harrod. He came second in both races. P3 in both races, and therefore P3 tonight. Leon Chambers. He had a good recovery in P3. Andy Archer P4. Stuart Nunn in P5. Ollie Evans P6, and Tom Illingworth comes in P7.
So we can display the screen right now. There it is, right there. No, it isn't. Totally making an absolute show of myself right now, aren't I? Why is that not showing? I know exactly why that's not showing. There we go. Boom. Like we are professionals. Final standings. Tony Draper, Pete Harrod, 2nd. Leon Chambers, 3rd. Andy Archer, 4th. Stu Nunham, 5th. Ollie Evans, 6th. And Tom Illingworth bringing it home in 7th. Well, thank you once again, Jim, for this wonderful evening that we've had.
No, thank you.
I'm looking forward to the next one. If you don't know when that is, by the way, it's Tuesday, 8 o'clock on Century Sim Race Center YouTube as well. It's the F2 series. Where are we at the F2 this week?
We are at Barcelona, but we're doing the historic layout, so that means that we're not doing that namby-pamby little chicane at the end of the lap. It's
beautiful.
Just two flat-out right-handers. You can carry get all over the curbs, and it's going to be brilliant. It was close as well on Thursday night in practice, so I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks in that
Awesome.
race.
Can't wait for that. Click the little notification bell on YouTube there. That will let you know when we're live on Tuesday, 8 o'clock for the F2 series, Century Sim Racing. Jim, thank you once again. I'll see you then. Stick around if you want to watch the Boris Johnson skit video that I've done. It's going to play at the end. Jim, I'll see you soon.
Lex, thank you very much, pal. Good night, everybody.
Take care.
Hit that like and subscribe. Smash that bell, yo.
Yeah, boy. Have a good evening.
So we are saying, don't go to work, go to work. Don't take public transport, go to work, don't go to work. Stay indoors. If you can work from home, go to work. Don't go to work.
Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. We have a route and we have a plan. Work from home if you can. PPE to the people who need it. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. We have a route and we have a plan. Work from home if you can. PPE to the people who need it. We've been through the initial peak, but you should go to work this week. We have a route and we have a plan. Work from home if you can. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. Control the virus, go to work. Sit in the sun, stay alert. We have a route and we have a plan. Work from home if you can.
And then we will or won't, something or other.